hit that later, but then yeah, I don't know what parody is. Okay. It's only 7:20 to 8. I feel like I could have a little bit more coffee, but we've been getting to bed a smidgen earlier the past few days, and I had almost a full cup. And also, I didn't have any sweet treats with it until me and G were ready to both sit down for dinner. So I didn't really want to overdo it on the sweet stuff. People, anybody who says, "Oh, you could just have no sugar in your coffee," no, I couldn't. No, I couldn't, and I don't recommend it for myself or for most people. But oh, but I am tired, and this may or may not make me more tired. I mean, if it is, you know, if I'm finding a lot of joy in doing it, which I often do, and if there's good conversations happening, I'm energized by that. At least during, I should know by now whether I still feel it, not long after wrapping up, but at least during I do. So I suppose too, it depends what time of day. Chapstick if you're curious, chapstick if you're not. What time of day it is? It's early, almost late, almost mid evening or late evening. Is there such a thing as mid evening? Because it's such a short. Well, then again, yeah. If there was, it would probably be around this time, around 7:30. Um, Early evening, 5 to 6. Mid 7 to 8. Rest 9 to midnight. Sure, makes sense, I suppose. So we're good with it. We're good with it. I know I'm saying it that way, but I am. So we're good with it. um, so Anita's pulling thread. That's good. I have someone jumping here to do. No, the hoodie and the jacket is good enough for now because we have long winters and this and that. But I'd be in a car mostly, and otherwise, yeah, not a whole lot of things planned yet to go to. But when I do, sure, I would need that. I do because that brown one is really not that thick. With the liner, it's still actually not as thick as I thought it was when I first got it. Well, maybe yeah, but anyway, yeah, I really should either get that coat sewed or get a new winter coat. But I have a good hoodie and I have another coat, um, and that'll do for now. Um, so yeah. Uh, oh, that's quite something. That's quite a video to come across on the newsfeed for a moment here as I'm multitasking. A man sings to his 93-year-old dying wife. I think we should all not only talk to and speak of memories or whatever, but sing to our loved ones, especially, if they're soon to be passing away and we're visiting them in the hospital. That's an interesting concept. I mean, I know that we you know, did some specific videos when G's sister was passing away. But yeah. Um, yeah, well, yeah, that's true. Um, Give it some time. If they're gonna do it, they'd be doing it because they're like thinking of me. They would see me there lately, and now they a couple of them know they see my content. So um, I'm just gonna. Oh right, no, okay, yeah, okay. So hopefully somebody tunes in soon. I don't think it's gonna be that perfect. So I was a little unsure if I wanted to roll today, but because I wasn't sure if I wanted to watch today. No, but either that or it's indicating inaccurately because that does happen. I've seen it happen many times before. But yeah, I was a little unsure. Um, but like I said, there's a lot of people that see afterwards too. And I mean, I've only been 5 minutes in. Um, there's a couple reasons aside from kind of the ideas within this. Welcome. There's a couple reasons why I did. One, because I do enjoy it. Two, because people can benefit, positively, and we can also have a good time chatting. And three, because life is short. And with my health, I don't know how. I got to be careful because when I show some of these back to G, who isn't present when I do them, it's yeah, he kind of doesn't realize it. I think. I mean, he's not living in with my body, so he doesn't really know the things that it's doing unless I tell him. You know, and I have been in a quite a good mood lately. Uh, I have my moments, I have my struggles, of course, but and the person another way out of it. But like I'm just saying, like he doesn't necessarily know what I'm struggling with. And in some ways, neither do I, to be honest. I just know that I kind of am. But actually, like this morning was really nice. I went out for a good long walk with our dog, and it was early, and it didn't have many aches and pains. Aches, they're essentially the same thing. However, pains and pangs, I would say, aren't. I don't know if anybody else experiences this. I know but there's something else up in there now, and this and that. But I don't know if anyone else experiences this. Where you get up in the middle of the night, because that's really when I notice it most. Sometimes late evening when I've eaten heavy, but you get up and just while you're up, essentially, um, whether you're sitting or standing, you get a pang in your side, like you're just below your ribs, um, and I wouldn't say that it makes it any harder to do the but it's there. And then one thing I would say, if you lay on a sore side, and this is many different topics, so if you resonate with this, you do. If you don't, you don't. There'll be other stuff, but if you lay on the sore side, what I've reasoned it to mean when it's comfortable to do so is that you're distributing. It's just like when you put on a muscle rub, right? And um, you're changing, or even getting massages. You're changing the sensations that you're feeling, uh, putting other ones there. But also, just simply laying on a certain side can be kind of like that too. I feel like that's the only way I can make sense of the fact that it sometimes feels most comfortable to do that. Um, but yeah. Anyway, but I've noticed that, and this morning, and it's not every morning, and I don't even know if it's safe weekly, but this morning I had a realization that when it's occurring, it is on the right side. I also noticed sometimes it goes along with the tingling or burning sensation around my lower leg, just above the ankle. Ankle and heel, they're the same thing. Not the base of the foot. Calf, is that the same? I should know these. Calf, shin, but front and back. I think the shin is just the front. Anyway, I'm no anatomy expert apparently, which I kind of realized that before this moment. But anywho, yeah, and it often seems to be accommodated with that. But I have worn those shoes a little bit today that I haven't worn in a few days, and I do think that might be. It's not like they're heels or anything, but they got a thick wedged um, bottom to them, and my feet aren't too sore right now and haven't been today, but I do think that maybe they might be causing some of the foot pain. So, anywho, okay. So, anyway, what do I want to do? How do I want to do it? I don't know. I was gonna do something on this device, but I just need to put this here for a moment. Ooh. Ah. But then I brought that up, and now I'm trying to process that, decide what I think. Those are me. But I'll do that. It's just that, and then that. So, and then I was kind of wanting to browse dreams, which is a reason why some of you may see the title pretty much matches the one comment that I got there, and I've been rolling for about 11 minutes. Because I figured, knowing what, knowing that a lot of people, myself included, sometimes are just scrolling through the lives, I've been pretty consistently getting to that spot. Sometimes I'd get to it and it wouldn't let me scroll through. I mean, not in the way where it's like full screen on the, I don't know how to do it on the cell phone actually, but full screen on the cell phone, and then, you know, I do it at the pace that I feel makes most sense. But I think it's okay. But and I mentioned, I think, the second most recent video, reasons mostly why I prefer that. Anywho, but so I'm a little bit confused, and then sometimes they say a private actor for some reason. I guess because they are, but why is what I ask. So let's see if our subscriber count. But yeah, she said she wasn't going to take this long breaks much anymore. But she's doing it now. Whoops. To suggest something during the. I know I'm not spelling it right, but whatever. Let's just see if anybody says anything to this. Because there's six people watching this stream. I know I saw a couple of comments to hers the other day, and it was like people were trying to figure out if the picture was moving. But basically, I follow this streamer, and she's really great. I think it was odd that she has some sort of filter or stuff on a green screen behind her in some points, and that she just shows herself in a still in other spots. But when she is actually in there doing the content, I mean, she's only been at it for I think 2 or 3 months, but she said that, but she has lots of videos I'd like to check out, but maybe not still be in some queue on this computer, but I could still do so. I don't even know if I looked at all the ones she's posted. I certainly haven't watched them all. I've only caught her live, but um, um, but she moved it a little bit, but still, those might stand out. But yes, I'm looking if you have it. I don't notice that in the video. I don't think, but yeah. And it's interesting that I say it, but then it dropped by 2. Her retention is quite good when she's not on the screen, and all she's got is her photo showing. And sure, she looks nice enough, and she is very nice. But and then I also saw a very interesting farm video the other day with a bunch of horses, and it made me think of my dad. And if I tilt this a little bit, you'll see I have lots of pictures of horses. And that there. But yeah. About on YouTube, by the way, I would say it's really about supporting fellow YouTubers. Like some people don't like. Okay, you know, like I would say, like still ask if they don't mind you doing so. I mean, even though they're posting on YouTube, and if you don't have good things to say, best to not say anything. But as far as like plugging yourself or plugging other people, I don't think it's a terrible thing. Um, so I just noticed. Oh, it's maybe just the phone. I thought I noticed a spot on my shirt, but I don't think it's a terrible thing. Something. Yeah, and like I'm just thinking of this particular friend or I don't know her in person yet. Who knows if I ever will? But that I've been following online, and I feel like she would say, sure, I noticed in her video earlier today, actually, that she actually brought up my channel and one other person's channel. So she probably subscribed and hit the notification bell, and she's like, and she's watching now. Hi, it's me. Just kidding. But, but there is now two people here, and one's been here for a few minutes, a couple minutes at least, and I'm glad to have you both here. Don't be shy in the chat. I believe I have it on. I haven't been rolling super long, but yeah, basically, as she knows that she sometimes goes away from her video for a long time. Okay, thanks, Clara. Funny, I was looking up the name Carly recently, connected to my cousin, and it found a Carla or Clara. I mean, it's a similar name, but it's not that similar really. But I mean, I appreciate that. One thing I'll say, well, I don't really need to say it to just you, but one thing I will say is that I don't talk about religion a lot on here, but I feel if it's done with respect, it can be just fine. And my second video of the day, two before this one, I kind of fairly early-ish in it did talk about my feelings because somebody, I believe, said just that and also said don't give up. And that latter part especially spoke to me, but they both kind of did. And so, you know, I'm not I'm not against I'm not against religious people, and I think that even if someone is not religious themselves, they should give such people an opportunity to try and chat with them. Because I did earlier today, and that's the first example in a long while, anyway, where it was quite lovely. Um, you know, uh, and it's just the way that some people that are faith based, um, how do I phrase it? God, the Lord is their center, their compass. Like I say, as long as it's nothing too preachy, as long as they also are able to have a conversation that's not like everything they say is very obviously connected to religion, like mentioned, then that's fine, and I hope that makes sense how I'm saying that. Um, but no, I was just talking about a fellow YouTuber, and I was saying, like she knows that she sometimes goes from the screen for a while, and even though she's pretty, I mean, I think she'd be totally fine saying if I wanted to suggest that some of those people come over and watch my video while she's not doing hers, like while it's live. It's amazing the retention that she has when when it's just, yeah, it's. Anywho, I know I'm maybe talking fast. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And I think that's like most of us. We got three of you here, and I realized too, and don't be shy to, keep commenting and being in the conversation. I'm a little bit low energy today and dealing with some kind of noticeable health symptoms, but, I just know that my doctor would say, it's going to only have well, I don't know, not just requesting another doctor's note, possibly only going to be having a brief conversation with G tomorrow. When he's at work all day, I can He's actually said it's okay to turn it completely off. Anyway, and then as long as I remember to put it back on. But I think he's may have other plans to talk with him about too. But if not, like I could totally try and have a little virtual appointment myself. I don't know what the weather's supposed to be like tomorrow. I should look. But basically, wasn't going to go away from that screen, but increasing cloudiness. That's a different one, but it looks otherwise nice. It's not bad Wednesday either, but potentially raining, 40% chance of rain. Yeah, very seasonably nice. I'm not going to say where we live, but a few clouds, mainly cloudy. But I really kind of do want to turn that heat down, but I live with somebody who will not want me to do so, so I won't. Anywho, have a great rest of your day. Well, I'm glad that you sat here and listened for a little bit. I guess if you truly do have to rush off, okay. If you don't, happy to have you still here listening and chatting, or at least listening while you do, having me in the background if you're not around other people and, needing to super strongly focused on anything. I'm curious where you're watching from, by the way. And I don't know if you're still here because it just went from 2 to 1. But I'll take this opportunity to say that, I'm a pretty diverse person and I sometimes don't have a filter. And that's not necessarily intentional that I get a little bit out or into adult themed topics, but I mean I am an adult, and I try to put that disclaimer there that I might kind of get kind of into certain topics, but I don't put myself in a box. Pretty much is what it is. But yeah, so basically, and actually, as I'm saying that I'm kind of warm, I think it's mostly my arm because I'm holding it in front of that fan. But yes, so if there's anything particular you'd like to talk about, as I mentioned, and I realize you may be tuning in, you may have just tuned out, or at least it looks like you have. If you haven't, let me know, because sometimes that's inaccurate. And it doesn't mean that it's meant to be that you do, but yeah. But yeah, I mean, I like my method because I haven't figured out another way to do it yet. If I do briefly have to step away from the screen, I put that in the chat. And I say about how long I'm going to be gone for and when I left. So people have an idea, and hopefully they patiently wait and feel that it's worth it doing so. I don't. Yeah, it happens, right? But anywho, we got now 3 of you here, so glad to have you all here. Feel free to like and subscribe. And I know I'm saying that really early on if it's your first time here, and I'd be curious if it is. And if not, how you came across this, even if it was just scrolling. But speaking of that, so that's why I put the title in the comment too, because if you're just scrolling, it might not show you the title. Because anytime I've ever done it, which I've only known how to do it on the phone, it doesn't. Now, look, it says that all 3 of you just left, but I don't believe that. I don't think that's accurate. It can't be. But maybe it is. Who knows? But somebody's here, so let's see here. So one of the things that I mentioned, and this can be part of the enjoyable chat and might even make us think of music, and I am musical, is about self-care. And it's a phrase I feel iffy about, but it is an important thing. And I wanted to talk about some categories within it. And if any of them specifically stand out to you, I have a chart here. And there's different categories and different things within those categories. So if one of these jumps out most to you, and you might be surprised what's in some of the categories. And I'd be curious, actually, we could play a bit of a guessing game if you wanted to. And again, it went back up to 3 and 0. I don't think this is accurate, or some sort of technological wonkiness, perhaps. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is read off these categories, and then we can do this one of 2 ways. So I'm just briefly looking at the other tab here. We can do this one of 2 ways, where I kind of want to make sure that I know somebody's here watching. Oh, there's 2 of you here, so that's good enough for me. Hopefully you'll be willing and open to and comfortable chatting a little bit. Listening is fine. Conversation is not forced, but suggested. Um, Strongly suggested. But anywho, so I'm going to list some categories, and then I'd be curious. Okay, here. I don't mean for that to. I do and don't mean for it to sound serious. I don't mean for it to. I think it's a funny little joke I've come up with. Maybe it's not funny. I don't know, but I do think it's important to remind. I heard it somewhere. I can't remember where, and I do feel like it's important to state that like anytime I'm inviting it, it's just an invitation. It's not forced. And then I added that other little bit because I don't know, to be a bit more encouraging of it, but and a little funny at the same time. So anyway, I'm going to list some categories, and I'd like you to hopefully do one of two things: choose which category you'd like me to talk about, or like us to talk about, even, or guess some of the things that you think would be in these categories. So we've got the aspects of physical, psychological, emotional, and of course these can all connect with each other, but spiritual, personal, and professional. And actually, it was kind of interesting as I read that. I felt like I was reading it in a way where it was becoming obvious that I, was getting, to the last one or two. So again, physical, psychological, emotional, spiritual, personal, professional. I got this at a workshop, and what's interesting to me actually is that so like you say, there was a lot of there was other things going on in the room at the time, and I don't remember exactly what. I think this was our last of the 4 sessions, and we were doing this interesting exercise, which might also be worth mentioning, where we, and they kind of get dispersed suddenly once I got home, where I take a popsicle stick and you write down things that help you, when you're struggling, or things that make you feel good. And then you put them in a little cup on the counter, kind of so you can just, and and you write them on the stick, and that's so that you can put them in the cup and that, and I mean, again, this will sound familiar to anybody who was there, which might be somebody who by fluke happens to see this, but nobody else is going to know. But I had to laugh, and you might find it funny as well. I was sitting next to somebody, very young looking PhD student, and I'd really like someone to be here as I say this, but I think you just laughed. Anyway, she'd written mangoes, which is great too, on the thing, and I asked about that because I noticed, and she's like, "Yeah, I just like eating mangoes." I was like, "Okay then, I like to make different." And this is what I mean. No offense, but nobody's here, so it's all good. But it's interesting when I look at this because I underlined a couple things in the moment, and I could have underlined a lot more. It's kind of funny. I also added a letter in. I did something funny in this one tab, but so I think I'm going to start with those. I can list the categories again if you'd like, and you can guess what else might be within them, or one you'd like to talk about. You can mention in the chat. But I highlighted or crossed out, I can't tell, short and long-term goals, and I can understand why I may have crossed it out, to be honest, because setting goals can be hard. Well, maybe not hard to do, but they can be hard when you're not achieving them, or getting where you want to with them. Then they can be more just a disappointment, So I don't even really remember underlining that. I kind of don't remember crossing it out either. But again, I could understand. And then find a mentor. It was actually find a spiritual mentor, but I don't think I really need one of those. I mean, if they are spiritualists in one, in a particular way, I mean, I'm not necessarily opposed, but yeah. Um, but yeah, so basically, again, categories of, and there's different things within these, and you can guess what the, okay. I don't want to be repeating myself, but I think that I like this method that of which I'm looking at this. And the thing is that 10-5. The thing is that oh shoot! I hope nobody was noticing that. I don't think I'm going to actually make mention of what I'm referring to because, well, it didn't work when I wasn't there. Because then you might actually go and try and look. And I don't think it was just me, but maybe it was. Anyway, so it's about um, life balance, and it's almost like the Maslow hierarchy thing, but a little different, I think. I mean, that only has 4 sections, I believe, or maybe 5, at most 6. I haven't seen it in a while. But this has physical, psychological, emotional, spiritual, personal, professional. So I'd be curious if one of those intrigues you more, or that you're more curious about, or if you'd simply like to guess what is in that category. Um, I'd be curious to see how many you could guess. And I'm not going to say, you know, how you can actually find this because then that, will give you the answers. I mean, maybe later I will. Although, mm, I'm sure the center didn't have that. It's conversation, and I'm not going to specify for a reason that I see at the bottom of this blurb. But so what I'll do is I will actually, because I do have to step away very briefly in a moment, but under 5 minutes. In fact, I'm also going to make a quick note about that while I'm thinking too. So at the, let's say 35 mark, it'll probably mark, have to briefly step away from the live stream to but before I do that, I'm just going to mention some of these. So if any of these categories and subcategories stand out to you, we can talk about them. If you'd like to guess or even just mention some of the other things that the categories make you think of, we can talk about that. We'll wrap it up maybe with a couple cover songs at the end of this. Now it looks like the person who was just there, the only one at the moment, may have left, and it's fluctuating, but sometimes that's inaccurate. So I'm just going to do this here. Um, I do find this actually a little bit odd though. Under the physical category, and I didn't know when I jumped into it. It has safe housing. I mean, I guess you physically live somewhere, often in a house. So that's the only way I can see how that makes sense in that category. It's like psychological. We have self-reflection, therapy. It fit 2 on that line. Got 2 of you here too. 1 for each of you. Just kidding. Glad to have you here. Under emotional, we have affirmations. Under spiritual, we have, again, self-reflection for some reason. Under personal, we have learn who you are, figure out what you want in life. And under personal, we have take time for lunch. I think most of us remember to do that, remember to eat our meals, but it's a struggle for some of us, which does make me think of someone I recently discovered on here. Actually, ironically, he may have been live streaming when I was looking just after dinner, but then I got doing this and forgot because it says that he just finished up his stream. The one that about and that. But so that's unfortunate. But okay. Okay, is it at the 35 mark? Yes, I said I'd be leaving at the 35 mark for a moment. So I'm going to do as I say and say as I do. I'm human. No, just kidding. Oh, anybody here? No? Oh, actually, yes. Two of you and Jayananda, not S. That sounds like a name. No S. And parents. Okay, hello, welcome. Um, I'm curious. Maybe you just didn't know how to edit the channel into put because the parents part is plural. Anyway, I'm just very literal and have an eye for details. I'm doing okay. How are you? Um, the other interesting part, well, I guess the first name starts with GY. That's I've never seen a YouTube channel name that has two letters in the icon. That's interesting. I don't think I have anyway. Anyway, I'm doing all right. How are you? As I analyze your channel name, sorry, uh, that isn't your name. No, I'm guessing you're the parent of Jayanada. um, I'm going to venture to guess that could be an African name, but I'm not sure. Um, anyway, I'm here in Canada. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to sound like I was judging. I'm just curious. I'm just making conversation. And yeah, no need to rush off. We can talk about these things if you have any questions for me as well. Like I said, I'm in Canada, which I know is a big place. Western Canada, kind of near Edmonton. We'll keep it at that. Um, And yes, we could also get kind of more onto the self care as well. Okay, that was kind of odd, I must admit. Um, although you did seem to stay for a while, and now it says that there's one person, so I'm not sure if that's the person that's already commented or somebody else that's here. Feeling a little bit. Whoops. Okay, well, let me see. Okay, it still says somebody's here, so okay. Um, um, Yeah. Anywho, so I'm glad that somebody's here. I haven't been rolling super duper long, but so we can talk about whatever you find interesting and passionate to talk about, anything you want support about. We can talk about this chart of which I have before me. Looks like you left. Maybe you didn't, but it looks like, oh, but we have two here. We can talk about, maybe I'll do the next one in the category. You can guess what else is in the category. You can say you'd like me to focus on one of these categories more than the other. Um, and also song suggestions are welcome too. So under the physical, regular medical care, and it's interesting. I was kind of sort of thinking of that before I even saw it there. Not because of the category, because of some health stuff I've been going through when I was briefly upstairs. And I thought, again, it's which reminds me, no, I've eaten pretty good today. I was going to take a vitamin. I don't take them every day because some days I'm eating better, but maybe I should. I don't know, but um, yeah, it's about physical activity. Sometimes a little harder in the winter, especially if you're not into the winter and winter sports. Eating well, a little bit harder when you're on the autism spectrum, and I do and don't feel that's why I'm picky, but and I get I sleep pretty well, so um, but I think if I focus on this stuff more than just those two that jumped out when I was given this, I think that's probably going to be the best thing um, to do. Yeah, we did watch about that one, and I think he did hear what I was saying. But again, mm, mm. I mean, I do drink a lot of water. I don't think an abnormal amount. A lot of people probably don't drink enough water, but I do worry that I might have, you know, worsening diabetes. I mean, if at the time it didn't show that I had it, okay. Um, and I remember feeling symptoms of something then. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, because of my diet, because of genetics, and yeah, as I say, so many people are likely to get it in their lifetime. Um, this is an interesting topic actually for a moment, because as much as I'm kind of ambivalent about, like, just to get a little bit, I don't want to say dark, but maybe slightly morbid just for a moment, I'm ambivalent about dying. And I sometimes, this maybe sort of comes up in other videos, but, like I have loved ones I'd love to see again in heaven. There are some areas in my life that I've been struggling with. And then when you think that, you're having some health problems that could make it happen, you know, connect that with the other two things and you have a bit of an acceptance. But I would hate to leave G behind and the dog and people I've gotten to know on here and on another site, and um, you know, don't really have a lot of living or local, very close family, um, and mostly acquaintances. So I mean, I don't know. It just kind of feels kind of um, mixed feelings. Mixed feelings. I think, especially a little bit more lately. I start to think of what I'd miss, not just because the angels have mentioned what they miss, but I start to think of, you know, but like I don't get headaches very often. Maybe I was a little tired even when I started this, but I do notice it's weird. It feels like it's kind of like right around my eyes and the two temples, which is not far from my eyes. Um, I don't get headaches very often, when I look up, the things about diabetes or pre-diabetes and whatever, like I do have some of those symptoms. Um, whether they can be other things that have similar symptoms, I don't know. But like I would hate to go partially blind or to lose a limb, you know. And I've long since decided that I pretty much feel like, for the reasons kind of mentioned already, and also um, because I couldn't see myself do it. I know that you two of you are just tuning in at a deep moment. One of you is still here, maybe both if it's inaccurate. And I'm glad to have you here. We'll get past this deep moment. We'll have some laughs. We'll have some music. It'll be good. But even through my struggles, I could never take my life or even harm myself. When I was a kid, I used to get frustrated. I don't remember to what age. and even occasionally, but very, very rarely, and not recently, as an adult, I punched my head, when I was annoyed. It's like, and I think the psychology around that is when you're feeling like you're already being wounded in some way or another, maybe there's a part of you that feels like, okay, well, I want to be the one doing it and in control of it. And then also, I don't know if anybody else has guesses. I'd be kind of curious about that. Um, like I'm already feeling it, so feeling it a little bit more can't be that bad. Maybe there's that. Anyway, point of the matter is I could never do that to myself. Like any more than possibly, and even that, I get lightheaded doing it these days. Just kidding, but maybe. I mean, it doesn't take much sometimes, but it is true. What scares me most is actually having to go through a surgery, and also having to live in discomfort. More than the bit that I already kind of experience physically, sometimes mentally. I mean, having to. So I guess that's a pretty good reason for I and even you, if you relate, to tender enough to be to do the self care things, so that you can try and take as best of care of yourself as possible. Because even if you feel mixed about that, like part of you feels like you don't care, you're really depressed, whatever it is in life, I can tell you that there are beautiful things in life, and I'm sure that you realize that too. Whether it's interactions you have in person or online and connections, whether it's flowers, whether it's favorite things you like to watch, whatever it is, like there truly are. And so this is, a real big reminder, I think, also for me, to, be like, yeah, if I don't want to be half blind because of diabetes, lose a limb, be in extreme discomfort, then, you know, even if I feel like a doctor's going to tell me certain things, which I can already perceive, and I need to kind of do those things and make those, you know, I need to, yeah, just do those things more. Some are easier said than done for some of us, like living an active lifestyle. I mean, if you don't have kids or a job that keeps you active, um, and you um, aren't into going to the gym. I mean, there are other ways to be active, true, but it's yeah, yeah. She's making me feel sexy lately, so it's fine. Um, but let's look at this physical category. Although I guess physical can mean active, and it can also mean like being, a state of being, or like what I said about housing, you know, um, like just a state of being in the physical. I guess is um, what else is in this category? I guess you do. It is a physical motion, even if it's one that we do all the time. Eating, okay. Exercise is a little vague. Bisexual. I changed the letter in the word B. If you can guess what I was getting at there. Sleep is, unless you're sleepwalking, which is actually kind of a dangerous thing a lot of times, no matter who you are, or have restless leg syndrome. I don't know how that would be under the physical category, but okay. Um, Vacations, sure. Taking time off of work, I guess. It says taking time off massages on the next line, and then there's a little bullet point. So that makes me think that's all one suggestion. Taking time off massages? I still wouldn't mind booking one, even though I miss Aaron. Acupuncture, I mean, that's not going to be for everybody, but sure. People that get tattoos and piercings are probably pretty okay with it because they can withstand those kind of feelings. Taking a walk, sure. Physical bubble baths, okay. Whoops, I went backward and I missed that. I put those out of order, but ask for nurture. Again, the bullet point is not there between take a rock and ask for nurture. Ask for nurture. That's a very interesting phrase. Very interesting phrase indeed. And I'm curious what you think it means. Ask for nurture. I mean, nurture, I connect that with the word love. And I just did a video a little earlier today, actually, on the topic of love. And I guess I don't fully feel like it's not something to ask for, but it's better when you don't have to ask for it and you just receive it. Because I bet you deserve it, you know? Um, but otherwise, I don't know what ask for nurture would mean. Like ask for food? I don't know. Kiss, turn on the phone, and get some you time. So, did any of those jump out? I just kind of sort of ran through those quickly. Did any of those? Nobody's here at the moment, but did any of them jump out to me? Because I, was just saying that I could maybe stand to be a bit more physically. I am trying to eat healthy. I am. If I could press a button and go on a vacation and then come home, I'd get homesick pretty fast. But you know, I'd be worried about taking our dog if we lost our dog somewhere far from home, even somewhere not far from home. There's traffic. They can go far distances. Speaking of the name Harley, you know, and but yeah, I wouldn't want to be away from our dog too long. So um, I'm just looking. Do for J. Kind of odd sounding, to be quite honest. Really, really. I tell you, the things you come across on, on YouTube. And if anybody ever, I don't want to judge. I know people do have pigs as pets, but if anybody ever thinks I'm weird, those are very interesting though. They're white with kind of black spots. They're like cow pigs. And she was just laying there. I don't actually. I think it is a dude. I'm not entirely sure, but just laying there cuddling with a couple pigs. Sometimes I say it can't get much crazier than that. Can't get that much crazier than that one lady, but you never know. Um, yeah. Anyway, let's focus on this a bit more, and then we'll do some music. And you're welcome to just join in as you've tuned in. And I'm curious if that was going to look really a bit of chat. I'm not sure if you can see it, but I can see kind of remnants of it. But anyway, um, I'm going to do that. um, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't turn down a massage. I actually do daily baths, so that's fine. Uses more water, but I like it. Even though today was kind of rushed, even though I was doing it right, so, I know I was waiting to have dinner. Kind of did things a little bit out of order, but out of sequence. But yeah, you know what? I'm going to enjoy as much as I can of winter not being, maybe, yeah, like I'm not going to go out for a walk right now because physically I don't feel up to it. It's gotten late and it's probably cooled off a lot. But, we get a very wintry winter a lot of the times, and it's actually very seasonably not wintry right now around mid November. So, yeah, certainly appreciating it. I think I was outside for about 4 hours today, and there was part of me that wanted to be out more than that. But you know, gotta do other things too. And well, I didn't have to do anything really, but at least she got to enjoy some of it. Being sick and finding most comfort, in the tub or in bed, I got to enjoy some of it, so that was good. Um, Another foot exercise like that when I was mentioning there is to kind of do circles, but I'm getting more cramped when I do that. Were both like me? They may have been. I think they were, unfortunately. But there's been some comments. I'm going to ask for some nurturing right now, please. That would have been a really awkward moment for someone first time coming in here, but they're like, no, I want to do that. I need that. Like adjust, why not? 35, 45. Is that 25? 35 minutes go at 55, 6 minute mark? Essentially 25 minutes, I think, if I'm doing the math right in this moment. And when I came back before, there was somebody here. There may have even been two, but one kind of stayed to, some people don't like asking questions all the time. I don't know why there's four gray lines going up and down, kind of beside each. Oh, I see. I think that's the same menu as when you click the icon, so I really don't know. Doesn't feel like it was that long though, but I think that actually a little bit sooner than that. But what did I call it? So while I was away that time, I experienced something kind of interesting. For those who are new to the channel, and 2 videos ago, I said the last 20 minutes of that there wasn't much in it really. It was trying to figure something out on my device, but I'd said maybe the 30-40 minute area. A couple of things I really didn't need to say to the person that was there. I didn't know for sure at the time, but also it's good because anybody else. But I'd said a couple of things about the ability of which is not a scary thing at all. Actually, very special, and I feel like I just did a little bit of that while I was briefly away. I said the 59 mark, but I'm back before the 59, right at the 59 mark even coming, and it's only 2 minutes away, so that's not bad. Um, but I do like how I worded some of that though, so I'll keep it there for now. But I can usually tell the difference when I'm channeling and when it's my own head, and it's always nice to hear from my loved ones in heaven. And when I do, and I do think that I did just hear from Ray while I was up there, and it's not just that I hope I did. I really do feel like it was from her, which is saying I'm giving you all the things you need, bud. I mean, nothing's perfect. There's some treats or maybe unhealthy things that will still kind of come along, but I'm giving you all the things you need, and I'm really happy that you're taking some time to focus on it a little bit more. I know that you're doing your best, she says to me, and just keep on doing it, keep on keeping on. In other words, um, I'll pretend I was sleeping for a moment. I saw sleeping dreams the other day. In both videos, I didn't realize it in the first one, or it wasn't the case. Well, I mean, he was sleeping, so unless he sleepwalked and brought the jug of milk to the table, I was just kind of referring to that kind of thing, and then fell back asleep. I mean, somebody was leaning on him in the stream I found. Um, yeah, there was a jug of milk. Oh, you're going to both times. But okay, I mean, I just did again. And before that, it hadn't been that long. Yeah, I'm feeling I don't think it's because of this light. Like, it's not a fluorescent, but it is a bright light, and sometimes I'm a bit sensitive. I'm feeling a head pain that I don't usually. It's not super severe, and I've been hearing more and more, and I actually had a very interesting moment. Um, I think my friend JP was involved in it. Um, a podcast fairly recently where I was talking about, and they still sell them, including at doctor's office pharmacies. But I mean, this is a name brand, but so I guess it's Tylenol contains acetaminophen, but isn't. I don't know. Talking about this kind of stuff. I mean, I'm not taking them daily. I'm certainly not. But there was a time not super long ago where I took one or two daily, and they say that they can damage the liver. But part of me thinks any med could. I don't know. But do they work, or is it a placebo? I mean, I don't know. Part of me thinks I don't know. Maybe I'll wait it out. I feel slightly lightheaded actually. Maybe I'll wait it out a little bit and then decide. Um, Next time I'm upstairs, I'm gonna connect with G. I'm not gonna go otherwise go up there because why would I really? But no, I'm just trying to decide if I should take one of these. It might make me a little drowsy. Um, the other thing that this bottle doesn't say is the strength level that I can see. So this is we got it because it was not super expensive. But there's a couple things about this label that are a little bit, and it's like what I have heard of the brand Equate. I don't know. I'm gonna try and ignore the lightheadedness and mild aches and continue here. So, but if you want to hear a song, if you have any song requests and you want to try and get a song out of me first, or before I wrap up, now might be a good time to suggest it because I'm not too sure how much longer I'm going to roll. Yeah, looks like that. Yeah. Oh, man, oh man, oh man. But I'll tell you, this ability that I was talking about, it doesn't give me all the answers. I mean, sometimes they feel just as stuck, is what I've noticed. They want the best for me, but they sometimes feel just as stuck as I, you know, in some areas. Or at least that's how it comes across to me. I mean, maybe I'm just not hearing them as strongly as I need to. That's kind of interesting. Oh, that's very interesting. Therefore, I'm going to keep this lighting for a moment because it is softer, and I'm almost feeling like that's helping almost instantly. I don't think it's that dark. I was watching a video though that with the darker mornings and having a salt lamp in the room and not necessarily wanting the actually there is the other light, but not necessarily wanting it on sometimes first thing in the morning. Um, um, the lighting is so slow, and I mean, there's been a couple people that are still, there's only been like 2 or 3 podcasts I've done like that, and there's been, you know, I think 1 or 2 even said they subscribed. They subscribed. They didn't stick around very long to chat, but they did say they subscribed, and I think 1 or 2 of them did. Jack and Grid actually believe so. They were well. That was maybe the first one that Jack has seen of me actually, and Grid. But this is very interesting what I'm noticing, and you might be noticing it too. I'm hoping you do, because if not, you should probably get your eyes checked. No offense, but because I don't think I'm seeing things. But part of me doesn't want to be talking about it and see if somebody tunes in and mentions it. It's like a focal point. It's very interesting. I don't see it as strongly when I look behind me, but kind of. And actually, that looks different. I can't figure out, other than the plants, I've not noticed that though. I'm sure I've done podcasts at night in this room with the lighting this way. So that's very different. Yeah, I do. I see the one almost more vividly when I look at it than I look at it here, and I don't see the other one, which is pretty faint on here, as strong. But make myself have ears, antlers. It looks like. You guys notice that? I mean, again, I'm hoping you do, because I don't think I'm seeing things behind me in this lighting. And like I say, I've done other videos in this lighting before. I think little shapes on the wall there, and I can't quite figure them out, other than possibly angelic. I know they're not moving, which I would expect them to if they're angels. But one of them, I can't tell if it's changing shape a little bit or if my eyes are just. But this one here looks a little bit more like a flying angel. I don't know. It's changing shape as I look at it, which is odd. Keep your shape, why don't you? It's got circle, 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 circle. That's what I see when I look at the actual wall. But it's interesting because it was like, oh golly, hard to believe that the pandemic started 4 or 5 years ago, eh? But so it was probably 6 or 7 or 8 years ago. I was staying somewhere, and the room I was in, I noticed something kind of similar to this, and it looked like angel wings. And I think I showed it to a couple of people. Don't see why I wouldn't know. I can't even remember if there was other people around, and I was a little unsure whether I should bring it up when they were around, and was waiting. I think the very next morning, I think I was the only other person other than the one that worked there, kind of around at the time. Sorry, I'm just tired. I've looked at this a couple times. I've tried to utilize it in this video, and I have, I guess, a little bit. But I don't know if there's any. Maybe if somebody asks, they see the title or they look in the comments and see it, then maybe I'll go into it. I mean, that one's mostly about work life. There is some interesting other things mentioned on here. I've just talked a lot, and for me and how I'm feeling, like that could be why my mouth feels a bit dry. Although I've been having water, maybe why I'm lightheaded. I mean, it's not like I don't do long podcasts sometimes, but and I'm not on any substances. I very rarely am, really. I very rarely am. Regardless of what anyone may think, I very rarely am. So, um, don't like the taste of a lot of alcohol, and while seeing what it's done to a loved one, and also feel like it hasn't done a whole lot for me, I don't really. I mean, every now and then I have a cough, but not a full joint. Anyway, it's legal. So I haven't really done a whole lot other than this on this device, but that's fine. I will later. About smoke me one thing. I don't know how they got that up on the screen, but it's kind of odd, and I don't want to be. And the person that generous to you, you get what I'm. My gosh. What? She got beads, I guess? That maybe supposed to look like jewels? That's weird. This is really weird. I have to look at this one moment. I don't know why I'm scrolling to the top, but the top isn't that far away. She's doing pretty good. 33 likes, 45 reactions. Seems like it's astrological readings. Somebody used to be a host on something and make good money. I'm curious what that's about, but a host would mean, they didn't say co-host. A host would mean I'd know the name, and I don't know the name Leah Johnson. But it's funny because they could say I know Lorraine Johnson from an agency, and the other one I was just talking about had a twin there. Speaking about young widow too. Person says they don't use any agency. What is this about? I almost want to watch this, seeing some of this conversation. When I skipped ahead, it seemed to bounce down. And I'm a movie director. It's a word meta in their name for some reason. Too bad I can't remember Shrek. T. Tay. Tell me? Somebody doesn't have to even speak when they come in the room. That's a little odd. Unless she was offering. Some channel names look more like somebody saying something, like hello. What applies only. I did ask, didn't see it till you pointed it out. Thought it was a reflection of the light. This is ironic after this, just after that kind of thing. I sort of want to watch this, but I'm not big about that astrological stuff personally. Personally, that's an area I kind of like to throw out, unfortunately. Although I see that quite often, I feel like it's a lot of mumbo jumbo, for lack of a different phrase. Oh, taking me to my grade school days. I had a pretty deep loss then, and I should go check on G. And I don't know that. I think it may just be a cell phone text or something. Um, so I'm gonna take this here and change it up a little bit. Be that specific. 1 hour, this many minutes, and this many seconds in. Okay, and those neat marks on the light on the wall. Yeah. Oh, wow. Well, that was quite a different experience when I stepped off screen for a few moments, but I think we'll leave that one upstairs. uh, I don't know. I don't think you would have heard it with the fan and the distance, and with that door open upstairs. You may have heard the music more than anything. Mm. Oh my gosh. Whew. Yeah, so I don't know. And if that's real fur, that makes me think of this a little bit again. Nobody's here, so I'll flash it anyway. I don't think if I lost a small bit of my belly, like I'm not that chubby, and I'm pretty consistent about that. So I don't think that's the problem for me. Hmm. So just a quick question: it doesn't he isn't bothered by the fact that his hair's sticking up in a few different directions while he's live streaming. I mean, he's got to notice, isn't he? Not looking at the screen. I don't know if he speaks English, and it's a tea house. I don't want to come across as it's a really interesting looking thing, though. I think this is over top of a flame. It's just kind of interesting looking. I don't understand a place that just serves tea. That's kind of silly, anyway. So kind of coming, a bit more focused, but not this, but in a slightly unfocused manner, perhaps. I don't know. To the topics, that. Okay, mine. Oh, that's what's her name? She making that yucky looking banana thing again? Quite possibly. That's a weird thing. It's like a pull and it says subscribe, like, yes, 0%, no, 0%, pro, complete, 0. Sue, where's lie? That's odd. But then there's also that little thing. I don't see it on the computer whenever I do these, but it's like a little, well, that's a subscribe like option, but there's also a thingy where it says, it says, you didn't get me. I just dropped something that I want to make sure I get. Here it is. It says, um, like Q&A sticker suggestions. Um, and I guess I'm not the only one that necessarily sees them. I mean, I'm likely to read them out anyway, but I have to see if I can figure out how to turn those off. I mean, I don't mind. It's almost like impromptu conversation with me when it's quiet, but I usually don't struggle too much to ramble. And so it might just be more distracting to some people than anything, and to myself. But I mean, I don't know. But yeah, that's Sidoni's. I don't know what to think about that. Wheel driver? No, thank you. That's really odd. It's also really odd when scrolling lives, and when the fact is, I think I paused it to be seeing something that shows Trump speaking in it, because that's usually the other way of looking up lives. But it is kind of interesting though that there was it said local, I forget what it said, but something, and it showed the McDonald's symbol. That's twice I've seen that now. This is kind of weird. Every moment, what? Moments that matter. Interesting. Interesting. And this might be telling me to wrap up. I'm not sure. I came across a live stream as I'm multitasking here and scrolling that did not have anything happening on the screen, and it looked just dark from what I recall. But the channel name jumped out at me. Now I'm looking at the description. Welcome to Moments That Matter, dedicated to celebrating meaningful moments in life, from family gatherings and personal milestones to inspiring stories and heartfelt connections. Join us as we explore the beauty of everyday life and the moments that truly matter. There's 5 people watching and no likes. Let me just hear. Is there anything happening? No, and that's weird to me. Let me just look at the other content. They have some very short lives, and life can be very short. Everyone, welcome to my first live. It's the very first snowfall of the season, and I just have to share this beautiful moment with you. Look at those amazing looks. Some people are patiently waiting to see what's going on. I don't want to be the first one to say anything there. Certainly intrigued, unless that was their plan, is just to be intriguing but not do anything. I don't think it's a technical issue, or I don't think it's a technical issue on my end, because well, now I don't. Hold on. Hi, Sona. How are you? Thanks for joining. And this is very strange. And I know there were 6 or 7 people watching Ninjas earlier when it was just the picture of her. And I said I have an idea if anybody's curious while they're waiting for her to come back. Maybe some people thought that's not going to be very long, but sometimes it really is. I hope she doesn't continue that because she said that she wasn't gonna. So, um, but we've got 5 now. 2. Also confused why someone would go live for 2 minutes, like some of her live streams. This person's live streams. One's a few minutes shorter, 2 minutes. One's 3. One's 11. One's a little bit shorter, 3. One's 37. One's 36. One's 5 seconds. Really odd. Hmm. Sorry, I was just being distracted by another live where there's nothing really happening, but I'm intrigued. I'm not sure what to say about it. Has there been anything happening in it? I mean, it's a little bit brighter. It's also showing a wall with kind of light on it, but nothing like what I'm seeing on mine. Close that poll. and it may show different screen on screen, but am I supposed to see something in this? Because I almost do. Slightly flickering and moving a little bit too. And I think I see, can't tell because of this stupid thing saying say hi. I'll say hi if I want to. I don't need a prompt. Some people probably think that when I suggested it. It looks like she might be in the very corner here. I mean, that's obviously shadow, but I'm just waiting to be kind of okay. Not creeped out, but like, oh my gosh, I see a loved one's face in it. Especially if it's Holly after something we just talking about with G. But then it went out dark again, now it's yellow. What is going on? This might be the people that are still there, or 6 people that are watching. They might have skipped ahead to see what's going on. It's asking me, do I like the videos? I've got to say right now, no, the quality is terrible. Sorry, but I don't want to go live. I'm already live. Two subscribers, 155 videos. Yeah, I see 4 under the video section, maybe 7 to 10 under the live section. I don't know why it says there's 100. Oh, okay, 155 videos. I'm not seeing that. That's weird. She must have some privated. A day ago, it says that they want to start the YouTube channel, and they're really excited to grow this community. If you're enjoying the content, could you please hit blah, 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 blah. Sorry. Oh, interesting. It just gets more and more interesting. You can those videos in the post area that I often call the non-video section. Um, I find out that she's in Ontario, and I'm originally from there. I No, I don't want this poll. Thank you. It could be just that she's not really up to chatting and really being on video, but she's just having it rolling as something to chat on in writing, and she's just waiting for someone to comment. In fact, it's got a like since in the past few minutes too. Hmm. I mean, it could be. I'm almost thinking I'd rather talk in writing at this point. Um, well, let's see. Let's see. Let's give it a moment. My second comment, I thought it was hers at first. Theirs at first. I mean, it sounded like a woman in the thing I played, so. The anticipation is killing me. It usually does. It's not even that they were really much in the video to begin with. It's about half an hour long. They weren't really there much at all. So I don't really know. Winter and cityscapes.
Or viewers out there like to see. So I am inviting everyone to just take a look at my videos and my shorts and let me know if you like these. This will help to guide me in the creation of my channel. Before you go, could you please just like some of those videos and also subscribe to the channel, and any comment from you is more than welcome. Thank you very much.
Let me just go back a moment and see. Poll's really starting to run. It's popping up a lot. Maybe I should just answer the damn thing. Please, can you please subscribe? That's an answer to you. Go back. But she did say something there. And I'm the only one that's commented. Two people have liked it, three people are watching, but I'll bring this up closer before better do the thing, then I'll come down and do the thing. Good. I'll go bed. Looking forward to it. It's on the 917 right now. So weird two kind of pain on my wrist at this point.
Good evening, everyone. Regarding accuracy, okay, so I'm a YouTuber and I have posted some videos and some shorts on my channel, and I am trying to figure out what my fans or viewers out there like to see. So I am inviting everyone to just take a look at my videos and my shorts and let me know if you like these. This will help to guide me in the creation of my channel. Before you go, could you please just like some of those videos and also subscribe to the channel, and any comment from you is more than welcome. Thank you very much.
You're not gonna answer my question as to why you're not showing on the screen, why you weren't saying anything, and the Ontario connection. That kind of annoys me. It's amazing that the retention number, although not super high. I mean, I say what I always.
Hi, Fiancé. No, no, no. I am not shy. I am a bit busy around the house, but I put this question up to, as I move around, I can see, come back to the live to see what's going on. sorry about that. I plan to come live and direct in my living colors very soon. I am just gathering the data. Tomorrow is Tuesday, maybe about Wednesday. I will be live. Thanks for joining and thank you very much.
Okay, well, I mean, she responded to me, so I mean, out loud too. And just in case she does more, she might not want to be in this, but this is deep into the video of mine, and uh,
So for those who did not hear me before, if you're just joining the live, I want to extend a very warm welcome to you. I am
okay.
in Coast, Canada. Yes, I'm in Ontario. I am a new YouTuber and I am just gathering some data tonight.
Sorry? Here, I'll give it to you. Just a moment. Ugh. I'm seeing this weird stream where she's not on camera